Yo, it's Will Marcus from Moistiny back from the video. Today we're going to be talking about how Gunsmith ruined COD Mobile. Now, I'm going to touch on a couple of the good things about it, and then the rest is going to be bad, right? I'm a anti-Gunsmith kind of guy. Like, I don't think it's a good feature overall for COD Mobile. Like, if I could have the way it was when the game released versus Gunsmith, I would take it the way it was when the game released. So, let's dive into Gunsmith and what's good about it. My main thing that makes Gunsmith good is it enhances the replay value in terms of weaponry for Battle Royale and I guess now DMZ, right? For those two modes, I guess you could say that Gunsmith increases the usability, maybe even viability of a lot of guns because of the attachments that you can put on them and having 5 attachments on all your guns, right? That's basically all I've got for the pros to Gunsmith, in my personal opinion, right? We're going to disagree on this. A lot of people probably enjoy Gunsmith. A lot of you guys probably weren't even around in COD Mobile before Gunsmith. You know what I mean? That's like 4 years ago at least. So you may not remember, right? Black Ops Cold War was when Gunsmith released, I believe. So maybe 5 years ago. Yeah. And so, not on console. Modern Warfare 2019 was when Gunsmith released, but that's the console side. I'm saying like when it finally came to COD Mobile was like a year later. Just for anybody who's confused. I personally just don't feel like it's very good to have all these attachments in the game or on my guns. I don't like it. I don't really care for it in the new titles. You know what I mean? In any new Call of Duty game like BO6, BO7, MW3, 2023, Vanguard, Cold War. I don't really like it at all, right? I just want to put that out there. I'm a fan of the classic style, right? Quick draw, grip, red dot. That's it. That's all you need. When COD Mobile released, that's all this game was, right? Extended mags and a suppressor. That's all you had, right? Grip and quick draw. That's all you had. You know, I don't think that you need to have all of these insane amounts of options for your gun, right? Having 10 different barrels, 15 different grips, 12 different magazines, 4 different stocks, 5 different rear grips, 10 more front grips, 25 muzzles. Like, it's too much, man. It's ridiculous. And not everybody's gonna agree with that, right? Some people might actually think that's great. I don't really know who those people would be, to be honest with you. I feel like there's no way you can't find a more simple and effective way to do it than just quick draw, grip, stock. Simple, right? They do the same thing as all the other ones, except they don't have 15 different names for them and a bunch of other little, downsides and pros and cons and all that crap. Like, that's not for me, right? I don't like it like that. I do still play all the new COD games. I can get used to it. Obviously, I've been dealing with it since Modern Warfare 2019, so it's not like I don't hate it that much, but I do think it hurts the quality of the COD games. I don't think it's a good mechanic overall, and I do think that the previous systems used in other games are much better, right? If we're just talking about like what we had in the beginning of COD Mobile, where it was just simple, right? I mean, I could name all the attachments just off my dome because it really wasn't a lot of attachments, and they're very simple and easy to understand. You know what I mean? Like suppressor, quick draw, grip, fast mags, extended mag, long barrel. I've pretty much named every attachment that had any meaning, excluding the optics, right? That's pretty simple. I feel like most people got it. It's pretty fun, enjoyable, still has a lot of replay value. You know what I mean? You're not sitting here wondering like which one of these 10 stocks is the best one to use. Nobody knows because who has time to test all this crap, right? The casual community, they definitely don't have time for that, right? Quick draw and stock is a lot easier to understand. I also want to talk about with the pros to it in DMZ now, because DMZ is now in mode, and then BR. So BR, being able to get loadouts, right? It basically helped turn BR into Warzone instead of just being COD Mobile Battle Royale and being its own thing and being a genuine, BR mode, in a more natural BR mode. It basically became, I want my Arsenal airdrop loadout gun, and that's it, right? And that sucks. That's not really what you want, right? It was really cool back when the not Warzone Mobile, but Warzone on console came out during COVID. Like, it blew up. It was awesome. It was great. But it just kind of became in COD Mobile, like they're just trying to copy that and turn it into it. When in reality, I think COD Mobile's Battle Royale is much better as a more natural Battle Royale where you're basically having to hunt down and find everything that you're going to use for that game. And it's more random. And I think that's a more enjoyable experience. We may agree to disagree on that, but that's something I wanted to cover. As for DMZ, I do understand. I think for DMZ, I'm almost fine with it, right? It's supposed to be a more tactical extraction shooter, the DMZ mode is, right? So I think those kinds of attachments, honestly, that makes more sense, right? You have a bunch of very unique attachments that do very specific and unique things well, and they have things that they don't do well. And in that kind of environment, I feel like building out a very specific loadout weapon for it is actually probably solid. Like, I think that actually fits that mode and the aesthetic for it, rather than like an arcade shooter multiplayer game where you're just running around doing whatever. I feel like that quick draw grip stock red dot is like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing is where we're looking for. Now, as for the rest of this topic, right, we're kind of thinking about zombies. I just want to include this in here. Zombies is totally like irrelevant in this. I don't feel like Gunsmith really impacts zombies at all. It's not even worth thinking about, talking about, mentioning, outside of just, hey, that's also part of this, but it's not a big deal. I also think that a lot of the Gunsmith attachments that we see basically make the guns overpowered, especially when we're talking about the perks sometimes, right? You have rapid fire on the QXR, which was the MP7. That gun was only meta because of rapid fire, right? The Razorback right now, if you go use the Razorback right now, it's really good because of the rapid fire. Something like that is just kind of like, it's cheesy, right? That's a Gunsmith thing. We didn't have rapid fire was an attachment back in the day, not in COD Mobile, but on console. So it just was performing differently, but doing the same thing, obviously. So I'm not trying to say that I have problems with certain attachments. Just the Gunsmith system has always been one where you are going to use every game that has Gunsmith, basically for every gun has 100 attachments. Whereas prior to that, let's take BO4 for example, which COD Mobile was based off of. BO4 had about 12 attachments per gun, right? You'd have like quick draw grip and stock, and then you'd have stock 2, which would allow your strafe speed to be much stronger, right? You had grip and grip 2. And grip 2 would allow you to have like 0 recoil, right? Everybody remembers the double grip ICR from Black Ops 4. It literally had negative recoil. It never moved. And things like that, you know what I mean? Those types of attachment systems I think are better than what we currently have with Gunsmith. Now, overall, I do think there's, like I said, pros and cons to Gunsmith. Everybody's going to look at it differently. We're going to have differing opinions on this. But to me, I think Gunsmith was a down mechanic, I guess you could say. Like, not a great one, right? I think we were better off with what we have. Now, obviously, they could always revert those changes. They could put in a mode in the COD Mobile where you run 2 attachments, quick draw and grip, or whatever. You get to pick them. And it functions just like it did back in Season 1. And I think that'd be great. But not everybody's going to agree with that. I just kind of wanted to put this out there. I don't ever see many people talk about it, and it was something that was very controversial on the console side for a while, and since nobody really addresses that kind of thing here on the mobile side, I thought I would cover it, since this is like my thing, covering the mobile and console overlaps and stuff like that. I like talking about that kind of thing, so feel free, comment your thoughts down in the comment section down below. What do you think of Gunsmith and how it impacts BR, MP, and zombies? Obviously, I think it's fine for DMZ, bad for MP, and probably okay for BR. If you're into that kind of thing, it probably not. I don't like how they're Warzone-ifying the COD Mobile Battle Royale, right? If Warzone was good, Warzone Mobile would still be playable right now, and it's not. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. It's been your boy Marcus Morstini, and I'm out of here. Peace.